The Netflix era has begun. What?
Yo, you ain't watch AEW, man?
Oh, the Rizzler?
The Rizzler, man. That's my favorite wrestler, man.
That's your favorite wrestler.
Let me stop.
Welcome
Forgot
back.
It's not about AEW.
Yeah, at least not this episode.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Go Home Bros podcast. I am your host, Producer Jay, along with my co-host, the X Factor.
Cam.
And now you messing with the X Factor.
Oh yeah. Not to be confused with X-Pac. He was on the show.
He was on the show. he looked a lot younger than he did ever in his life. I don't know how. He found the youth or something.
Since the last DX reunion.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, maybe he just dyed his hair. I don't know.
Probably. That's probably what happened.
Yeah. But before we get into all that, we just want to remind you that if you're watching on YouTube, you can like and subscribe. If you're listening to this on a podcasting app, you can share and rate us and share with your friends, because that will make us very happy. And that's pretty much it. You can follow us on our socials. We got socials now. We got a TikTok, we got Instagram, and we're gonna be posting on those very soon. So stay tuned for that.
We got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I had to join.
You wanted
Paul
to do
Heyman.
the Rock thing? Or...
Yeah.
Oh, no. So somebody actually pointed that out, that he did the same thing. He went like this, and then
and then he switched it.
That The Rock did. I don't know if that was foreshadowing, but anyway, we'll get to that. So now that that's out of the way, what did you think of Raw's debut on Netflix?
If I had to rate it a 10, I would give it a solid. I would give it a solid 9.1.
9.1. Oh, we're doing points now?
Yeah.
Because
9.11. No,
9.00001.
0010101.
Well, 9.1. So you thoroughly liked the show then?
Yeah. I pretty much liked everything on the show. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a very packed card. Very, very much flowed nicely. It had a lot of moments where I was just like, I paid attention to the whole show. It was really good. What about you? What did you?
Honestly, so it felt like a pay-per-view. I felt like I was watching a pay-per-view, because one thing I want to mention, the quality, maybe it's just because I'm used to watching it on because we have Sling, and we watch it through that, but that's kind of low quality. It's not super high def, but you could see, everything you need to see. But it always looks slightly worse than if it were on the pay-per-view, which is on Peacock. So because this was streaming on Netflix, at 4K in HDR and all that stuff, for me personally, I felt like it looked very high quality, and it felt like I was watching a pay-per-view. But then I was quickly reminded that it's not a pay-per-view when the first ad kicked in, and I was like, oh yes, this is Raw that we're watching. Even though they said that there wouldn't be as many ads, which I do have a bone to pick, because apparently, in the middle of the show, I found out that if you're watching on Netflix outside of the US, there's no commercials.
Yo, I know.
I was so pissed off, and I was like, let me check, because I have a VPN. So I checked on my phone, and they literally during one of the commercials, because I was watching on the TV regular, and then on my phone I was watching on Netflix on my phone, and then it was doing something else. It was a New Day interview.
Yeah.
And I was just
they
like,
do
what
interviews.
The heck?
Yep. They did a New Day interview, they did a Miz interview. I think the Final Testament was in the Miz one. It's I think you can change your location or something like that on Netflix. And I know people did that for certain pay-per-views and certain things where you could change your Netflix or whatever. But I don't know. That's crazy. Why do we get ads?
I don't. I don't like that at all. And it'd be fine if it was like, because I remember when they first announced that Netflix was gonna be on, or Raw was gonna be on Netflix, that they said, oh, it was gonna be like less ads. Like it'll still be ads, but they'll be like less intrusive. Like they won't do it during the match. But then that's exactly what they did. They did it through like
Yeah.
every single match. They had ads, and it's just like
Yes, they did.
it's one of those things where it's like it ruins the flow of things. That's why, like, when I said it felt like a pay-per-view, as soon as the ad kicked in, I was just like, okay, yeah, no, now it doesn't even feel like it no more.
No,
But
it's annoying because like it did feel like a pay per view at first, especially like the first segment up until the first match. I believe that was the first ad. I'm not too sure. There might have been an ad before that. I'm not sure, but
yeah,
it did feel like a really good pay per view, and then quickly reminded easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
So,
But-
overall, I very much enjoyed the show. I thought the new stage looks very cool. The whole like
It
tunnel
does.
entrance, that
Yeah.
looks very like it feels like premium, like, and it's not like crazy big. Like it's small. It's like it's low. They can fit more people. I know this is not going to be like every arena that they might have. They might have a different setup in different arenas, but for the most part, I hope it stays like this because I like it.
Yeah.
What did you think of not just the ads on the TV, like in the commercials, but the ads on the mat, the ring mat?
Oh my gosh. It's funny because I was still watching it with my girlfriend Sophia, and she was like, "Oh, there's Fortnite on the mat."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? There is?" And I looked, I saw Fortnite. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Wow!" And then I realized how many other ads there are. There's a Hulk Hogan's drink.
Yeah,
I
Hulk
think
Hogan's real American beer. There's a
Real,
Netflix
yeah.
ad, which, in case you forgot what you're watching it on,
I know.
but I guess it's more for like the people in the arena. But still, like, come on.
Yeah, but like, I don't
Yeah,
know. There was a lot of it was so many ads to where I feel like they did their four corners and then they did the middles of the corners and then they ran
Yeah.
out of space, so they had to go in the middle.
yeah,
It's like it's too many.
yeah. So
I do hope they cut back on that a little bit because it's a little distracting. Just a little bit.
they're not gonna do nothing. If anything, they're gonna do more
Oh man,
because
the whole map.
some of them had doubles, so they're gonna like fill in one of the doubles with another one. Like they'll probably
Oh,
have
probably.
the Wheatley vodka that they have, or maybe like a Call of Duty ad. I don't know. But,
Probably.
yeah.
see it.
So that it threw me off a little bit, but over the course of the show, I kind of was just like, whatever. Like it didn't really detract too much. I did like the black mat though. The black mat, it looked
Yeah.
really good. It reminded me of NXT, the In Your House. Was it? It's In Your House, right?
With their
That's what they
pay-per-view,
used to call it. What they used to
Mhm.
call it? No, it wasn't In Your House. It was what was it
Yeah,
called?
they had it in your house.
No, they had it, but it was called something Takeover. I was like,
Oh,
yeah. I forgot. Like, so the NXT takeovers, they used to have the black mats. I mean, I think they also had it for NXT, like regular shows as well. Maybe I'm misremembering that. They probably had it for that too, but it definitely reminded me of that, and I like it.
Yeah, I like that they're kind of like doing what SmackDown's doing. I mean, I'm sure they had it at the same time, but SmackDown had the blue mat and it was really nice. I really like the blue mat as well on
Yeah.
SmackDown. But
I wouldn't be surprised if that one has ads next week.
Yeah,
Or
honestly,
next
that's
show,
what
I
I'm
should
saying.
say.
I think this mat only had so many because it's the first episode. You know, they want to make a name. Obviously, everybody's gonna watch the first episode. Second episode drops a little bit of viewership, but I mean,
Yeah,
they still have the ads.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
overall, I like the show. Without getting into too much spoilers because we're gonna go over things. I'm very surprised that it didn't have a hook for the next show. So I thought for sure there was gonna be some sort of a cliffhanger that was gonna happen like towards the end of the show to get people like, oh, I gotta tune in next week to see what happens. Because that's usually how shows work. Like when you do a pilot episode or you do like the first episode of a season, like you got to hook them in that first episode. A lot of people are tuning in for the first time on Netflix, and I feel like they should have used this opportunity to like do something crazy, but they didn't. They just had the show and then it ended. So it's like, I don't know. I felt like that was kind of like a missed opportunity. But outside of that, I give this show, if you're gonna do it out of 10, I'll probably give it like an 8.5. Like slightly below yours, just because I felt like what I just said, like I felt like it could have used something there at the end to kind of like get people talking, because this was gonna be like, this is a monumental show. But the fact that they didn't do that, it kind of like took it down. But it didn't ruin the show, obviously. But I feel like they could have done a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense. They did set up more for SmackDown more than they did for Raw.
Yes,
to be honest.
Actually, yes, they did.
But with the whole transfer window, I don't put it past them to be like, all right, some people are going to Raw anyways. Like Roman, I feel like he might go to Raw. If I'm gonna be honest, I just feel like that. There's no way I feel like him and Solo, if they're gonna continue both being, I don't know. I don't really know how that's what I'm saying. They set up a lot for SmackDown, so it's hard to really say for Raw. But
the only reason I would say that Roman shouldn't go to Raw is because as much as he's been around, he's still gonna go away for a little bit. Like he's still kind of part-time.
that's true.
So it's probably best to keep him on SmackDown, where I don't want to say it's like the B show or that it's not important, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more going on over there. Where on Raw, like where would he fit in? Like who would he even feud with? So I don't know.
True.
But yeah, we'll see what happens this week on SmackDown, and if it is like more of a follow up for like the Bloodline stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's just go through the show. We're not gonna go in like depth and like move by move and stuff like that. We're just gonna like go through everything just to kind of give our thoughts and stuff. So so the show opened with, they called it a cold open, which it's not necessarily like cold open, because usually when it's a cold open, the show is just starting. But
yeah, there's a match.
Somebody's making their entrance. That's a cold open. But they open with a video package, basically going over the history of WWE and like history of wrestling, honestly, because they were showing a lot of stuff from like the past, even before WWE, and just the business in general and how it got its start. And Triple H was doing a voiceover, and I thought it was really cool. There was a lot of I want to say controversy, based on a very specific part in it when he said, he basically said like heel and shoot and face and stuff, like basically going like over like the lingo and backstage terms and stuff like that. A lot of people were kind of upset about it. They thought it was just like, why are you talking like that? It's like, I don't know.
I think, it kind of all ties back to Triple H, and Triple H was one of the first people. Literally, the curtain call was Triple H, Shawn Michaels, I believe Kevin Nash, and Razor Ramon.
Yeah,
Scott Hall. Like they all four made the curtain call and broke kayfabe.
Mm-hmm.
If we're in 2025, like social media, like there's no kayfabe. Kayfabe is dead. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
The biggest person, the person that does kayfabe the most, I would say, is Dominic Mysterio. Like there's no kayfabe. Like he's the most one that says, "Oh yeah, Eddie Guerrero's my dad, raised a deadbeat dad." He says that on podcast. But other than that, that's it. Like that's the most you'll get.
Yeah.
So it's like that being like said, it's kind of like, I feel like it's refreshing in my eyes to see that, because I feel like Vince McMahon tried to hold that for so long, and those words and like specific words, not even just heel, face, whatever. Certain words like superstar and certain like that, it's a new breakage of those limits. Like I feel like him saying that is like basically saying the sky's the limit for anything. He could say heel, he could say face, he could say anything, literally anything. Like anybody that goes out there could say anything. Obviously, there's a limit to certain things you could say, but in terms of like code words that the business uses, it breaks that barrier, and it's like a whole new world now. And it shows that in the first episode, which is I feel like is a good thing.
Yeah.
So
I think ultimately it's not as big of a deal. Like we all know. Like people already know they have the freaking Vince McMahon documentary goes so much that's on Netflix. You can look that up. If you type in WWE or anything like that, it's gonna pop up. So
yeah,
people are gonna be exposed to that stuff, and as long as it doesn't get overdone, like in the show itself. Like imagine if you're watching like a movie and the person in the movie just like basically breaks kayfabe. It's just like, oh yeah, you guys are watching a movie. Like it's a little weird, but you know, as long as they're not doing it on the show. And I don't consider that intro part of the show. It was just an intro. So but like you said, the whole curtain call stuff, like if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be Triple H because he kind of did it the first time. But yeah, it didn't bother me. I think it's time to let go of this stuff. Everybody knows it's fake, and if anything, it kind of helps because you're telling the audience, "Hey, what you're seeing is entertainment." But then when something like crazy goes down, you start questioning, like, wait. Was that fake or was that real? Like the whole Rock thing. Like last year, people were questioning if that was real when he freaking slapped Cody Rhodes, and like nobody knew what was happening. And like that was the beauty of it. It felt real, but you knew it wasn't, but it felt real. So it's like that's the kind of dynamic that I think they're trying to get across, that it's a show, but anything can happen.
Yeah, and I feel like nowadays the rivalries are going so like between the lines of real and fake. Like the Seth Rollins and CM Punk. We know that while CM Punk was away from the WWE, Seth Rollins kind of like called him out and was like, "Yo, you suck. Like you're cancer. You suck. Dude, never come back." And he said that like on an interview, and he probably actually felt that. So it's like now that they're in a feud, when he comes back, it's like, dang, I know it's like not a real rivalry, but is it? Like, I'm not sure.
And they've done this before when freaking Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels used to have matches together. They hated each other, like for real. They hated each other, but they still worked together because Vince McMahon wanted that because he thought it made more money, and it did. That was probably the worst. I don't want to say the worst decision because it ended up being really entertaining, but it's like he knew their feud in real life was gonna equal a great feud on TV. Yeah. So, but it's like I said, it's not new though. So it's like I think that's what it is, and people are starting to like they need to realize that it's all about like blending things together. And that's what wrestling does. It blends things together. So I think this is just a new version of it.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, overall, I like that intro though, and that whole painting that came down in the ring that they showed, it was really cool. The mural, that's what I was thinking. And then Triple H came out and he did this whole rah-rah speech like he usually does, which
the game.
Yeah, welcome to he does his thing, and
welcome to Raw. This is Triple H here, Paul Levesque era, Netflix
era.
Netflix. We're in a new era. We are making opportunities doing a new era.
We should do like a drinking game every time Triple H says era.
I know, right? We'll be done by that like middle of the podcast.
Yeah. But so he was just basically ushering the new era of Netflix and stuff like that. So it was, it's a Triple H speech. You know what you're gonna get. But what happened after, which I didn't expect, was The Rock came out.
Right away.
Yeah. Final boss. He just came out. And they tried to fake out. They did like a little noise right in the beginning, and like I didn't know who it was. But then I just called it out because I was like, it's gonna be The Rock. Watch, and then it was.
Yeah.
But when he came out, what are you gonna say?
No, you said something interesting. You said the final boss.
So the
final boss.
Okay, so he was dressed like the final boss.
Yeah, he definitely was. Okay,
he basically looked. He pretty much looked like the final boss. But when he came out, he was a face. Like he was a good guy. He was corporate Rock. He was Dwayne Johnson that night.
Yeah,
which was very odd because that's not what we wanted or expected. Because last time we saw him, he was doing the whole final boss stuff. But he came out with the title. He came out with the vest. Came out with the sunglasses. Came out with like a 5 o'clock shadow too, which was a little weird.
Yeah, I like that. It suits him right now.
It's different. But so he came out and he started like shouting out people. He shouted out like the Netflix people. He shouted out the TKO people. But he also shouted out Cody Rhodes, which was very.
I have a theory to this.
You have a theory? Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Tell me what's this theory.
I have a theory, and listen, if we could come back to this podcast later on and be like, hey, X Factor camera was right. You know, it just happens, you know, whatever. But I think because in an interview, I believe after the show or during the show or whatever, The Rock was backstage or he was just recording something. He was like, the people, they used to hate when I called Cody bad words or whatever. Like, they hated that. Yeah. They gave me stuff for that. And then I go on live TV on Netflix and I go and praise Cody Rhodes. And now they say, "Oh, why are you praising Cody Rhodes? You're supposed to be hating him." Yeah, why are you being nice to him? You're supposed to not be nice to him. He's like, I don't know.
That was on NXT.
Yes,
the next night. Yeah,
and it's like he said he's 20 steps ahead all the time, and I'm like, could that have been The Rock being too much of a nice guy in the moment and then saving his ass later? Or is that what he's trying to do all along? He's trying to play mind games so that way he can attack Cody when he's least expecting it.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past them to try and work that into a future storyline. I think, personally, he just doesn't know what he's going to do yet. So I think he's kind of just playing the field for now. Because that's the problem. And it bothers me because every year for like the past like 3, 4, 5 years, it's always been, is The Rock going to be at WrestleMania? Is The Rock going to be at WrestleMania? I mean, is he talking to, like, is he trying to work out a match? Like, is he finally going to do it? And every year it's been, no. And then, but the question still comes up. And then last year he finally comes back and is going to do a match. And then it was the worst time possible because it was right during Cody Rhodes' storyline, finishing the story. And people didn't want it or didn't want him to meddle it with that.
Yep.
So now we're back at square one where it's like, is The Rock going to come back? Is he? Is he free? Is he, like, it's always a what if with Rock. And it bothers me because, like, him constantly lingering around, I guess if you want to look at it from the standpoint that, like, because he's so around, you don't know, he could just jump in at any point. But I don't like that he's always, like, lingering around. And the fact that he did it last year where he rectified it and he changed course because he was going to literally step right in and take Cody's spot.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do anything like that again. So if he comes in, he's taking whatever spot he's going to take.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about. So I'm hoping that this is all part of a plan that they're just slowly building to, but the realist in me believes that he just doesn't know what he's going to do yet, and he's just waiting. So he's biding his time.
I honestly don't even think the match is between Cody and Rock. I think it's between Roman and Rock if they do a match.
I think that would be the match if they're going to do it.
But this year is the perfect year for them to do it. Like last year was the worst year, literally the worst year to do it. This year is perfect. Roman is free. He faced Solo already. Faced Cody Rhodes. The only thing that Roman could do right now is go after the championship, and nobody wants to see that.
No.
Literally the only person for him to face is The Rock.
Yeah. So,
and I don't want to see him versus John Cena. So,
yeah, no, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I'm good.
We don't need thrice in a lifetime.
Yeah. Oh my God, no. Well, The Rock did also praise Roman in his promo.
Oh, so yeah, he did also praise Roman like right after, and he said he was gonna watch the match which happened to be next, which was Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa,
which is crazy. I'm surprised they opened with that match.
They opened with the Roman and Solo. Yeah, it was either gonna be the main event or it was gonna open the show. Like that's usually how things go. Like,
yeah,
and that's I think I feel maybe it was Seth Rollins or somebody, or maybe it was Brock Lesnar, where they said, I think in an interview they said, if you're not gonna put me on last, put me on first, because you always get the best crowd first.
Yeah.
And then you can build up to like the last match, but then you risk the crowd being like kind of like deflated by then. But at least at the start of the show, the crowd is hot. So like if you're not gonna go on last, you go on first, so you still get the best crowd. But yeah, so yeah, after that, Roman and Solo came out to like they treated this like a championship match. Like literally, they had the ring announcer, I forget her name, the one from SmackDown. They moved her to Raw. They moved Lillian Garcia to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So they had the spotlight and everything. She announced them like the Ula Fala was a title.
Yeah, literally,
they were fighting for it. So and this is where like it felt like a pay-per-view. Like it just honestly, it felt like this is like I'm watching a pay-per-view. But then, like, during the match, it went to a commercial, and then we already went through that. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was a really good match, if I'm going to be honest. I honestly think it was one of Solo's best matches.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. And it's like, this match I watched fully, like, straight when it was live, and it was like, it was really good. I really liked how Solo didn't look like a chump in this match. Because usually in matches where Solo's involved and the Bloodline's involved, he usually looks like a chump. Like he'll have himself getting beat up and then he'll get saved and then that's when he'll start to beat down or whatever. But this match, he was actually holding his own against Roman for a good amount of the match. And I do have one pet peeve about this match though.
What is it?
The finishers was just like big moves were being. I felt like I was watching. I switched over to TNT. I don't know what happened. Like I thought the channel switched.
TBS.
TBS, aren't they on TV?
No, they're on TBS.
Oh man, that just goes to show, man. Well, it's like, man, they were just kicking out a big move. He went through a table, powerbomb off the. Like I don't know what was going on. Like spear that was getting kicked out of. Smallest spike into a super kick was getting kicked out of. Like I don't know what like was going on. Like this is actually okay. This is Raw. This is not okay. This is not WrestleMania, and this is not for a championship.
I mean,
I understand the Ula Fala is like. Okay, well, it's just like I understand all that, but like, yo, shit, come on, you kicked out of everything.
Yeah, it was. They did ham it up with the finisher kickouts. One thing that bothered me about it too was, and it's not necessarily because they've done it before, but the whole run-ins, like I feel like they're doing it too much now to the point where like if it's a bloodline match, you expect a run-in.
Yeah,
and it's getting to the point where it's just like if you don't do it, then it's like, what are you doing? So it's like that's why I'm saying like they made it to the point where it's too expected, it's too predictable. Like of course Tama Tonga is gonna come out, of course Jacob Fatu is gonna come out, of course Jimmy and Sammy came out.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't expect was Kevin Owens.
I didn't expect that either.
Yeah,
To be
so
honest.
he came out of nowhere and freaking did a stunner to Roman in the corner, and I don't know how that didn't end the match. But like you
Yeah,
said, he was finisher kickouts.
super Roman, man. It
I
was
mean,
super solo and super. I think the Ulafala just brought like +10 power to the match. Like I don't know
yeah.
what happened.
See, at least with like, because right after that, Cody Rhodes came out, and at least he didn't do a finisher. I don't think, right? He just chased Kevin Owens out the ring.
No, I think he did. Yeah, he just chased him out the ring. I
Yeah.
believe he did a Cody cutter, but
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
he did the
sure.
Cody Cutter, but he did it to Kevin Owens. So
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, like he came out and then it was kind of back to square one. Um, and then I'm trying to remember how the match ended. Did it just end with like a spear right after that?
I believe so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Solo was gonna do a Samoan spike, and then he kind of reversed it, went to the ropes, and then did a spear. That was
yeah,
it.
and that was it. So
That was it.
overall, it was a decent match. It's the first match that Roman has had on Raw in I can't even remember.
Oh man, it's I don't even know.
Yeah, it's been forever since Roman had a match on TV. So Um, but yeah, so it was good. So now we gotta, like you said, this more was a setup for SmackDown because now when we tune into SmackDown, we're gonna find out what's gonna happen with the Bloodline stuff because Solo has lost like so many times. He lost at Survivor Series. He lost this one-on-one. He lost I'm pretty sure he lost like the last match before that. So it's like
Yeah.
he's losing constantly. And it's him that's losing. It's not anybody else. It's him that's taking the loss. So what does this mean for the new bloodline?
Oh man, I think on SmackDown, I think it's gonna be. I think it's done.
You think we're gonna get a I hate you Solo?
I think we're gonna get either I hate you Solo or
I don't love you Solo.
I don't love you or some. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think Solo's done with the bloodline. I think he's gonna get kicked out for sure.
Yeah, because at this point, like there has to be like when Roman lost, literally Solo was just like there has to be consequences for losing. And that's what started this whole thing. So like I don't see how Solo can lose to I mean he lost to Cody as well at SummerSlam last year. So it's like
Yeah.
you lose so many times, like you gotta eat your own words. Like you said, losing has consequences. So
Yeah,
and
I
now
think
he lost the Ulafala. Like he doesn't have it
Yeah.
anymore. So
he's literally not the like he made it a point to be like, hey, if Roman gets the Ulafala back, if he takes it back from me, I will call him tribal chief again. But until that happens, I'm not doing anything. And I honestly think he could either get kicked out or he can just straight up be like, hey, sorry guys, I'm not the tribal chief anymore. Roman is the tribal chief. So we gotta follow him now. And then they're like, nah, we're gonna do our own thing. And then they don't kick him out, but
he did a Miles Morales. I'm gonna do my own thing.
yeah, he puts his hand on Jacob's shoulder and says, nah. But I don't know. I think it could go peaceful like that, or they could just violate him and put him through a table.
Well, we'll see what happens on SmackDown, but I definitely think the Bloodline, while the storyline as a whole is not done, Solo as the leader is pretty much done.
Yeah, I think so.
So next up, after this, we had John Cena come out.
Yes.
And he didn't have a match like we were talking about that he might, but he did basically he kicked off the farewell tour or the retirement tour, whatever you want to call it, and he was hamming it up because obviously like there's a lot of questions about what's going to be like who's going to face, who's going to be his last match, who's going to be his WrestleMania match, but it's like he basically wants everybody to remember like every so I actually don't know, but I'm assuming he's going to have a shirt for every city that is gonna be his last.
Oh
Because
yeah, probably.
if you look at his logo or his shirt that he was wearing, it looked like the LA Dodgers logo. Like the John
Uh,
Cena, his name, it was like shaped in the LA Dodgers and it said LA on it. So I think he's probably gonna have a shirt for every city and his
yeah,
farewell tour. Um
probably.
so yeah, so he was basically just talking about like everything that people should expect and what not to expect, because he was saying that to not expect him to win his 17 world championship. And then obviously Cena being Cena, he's being like joking and stuff like that, which it did bother me a little bit because I know John Cena can cut a great promo when he wants to, but this one felt like too kind of like goofy. I don't know.
Yeah, it did.
It felt silly, and it was just like, okay, like we're not little kid. Like I know little kids are probably watching, but you didn't have to be like, oh, like I don't know. And I
Yeah, I
felt like
saw that.
he was doing that too much. I'm just like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
the Royal Rumble. It's like, no, like talk to us like a human being. Like,
yeah. No. Oh my god.
so anyway, he starts going on and saying that it's impossible for him to win because of his streak, that he hasn't won his title in so long. But then he remembers that the Royal Rumble is around the corner and that he can win. And that would be his shot. So he declared himself for the Royal Rumble and he declared that he's going to win it. I believe he is going to be on another show before then. I don't think his next show is the Royal Rumble. He did say in the post show, when they did the interviews and stuff, that he has 36 dates. So they're gonna have to pick and choose like which dates those are, and I think it's gonna be like the big cities or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so John Cena is gonna be in the Royal Rumble. Do you think that he wins it?
Oh man, I honestly don't think he wins it.
No.
I think honestly, I have a whole thing of what I think John Cena is gonna do. I know you think. I think it was you that said that he will probably turn heel.
I think they're gonna. I feel like they should. This is their only chance to do it, and if they're gonna do it, they just do it. Like, don't beat around the bush, don't tease it, just do it.
It's hard because like it's his farewell tour, so I don't know if they'll do it. But regardless of that, I think he doesn't win the Royal Rumble. I think he doesn't win Elimination Chamber. I think he ends up finding a way to. Honestly, he might win the Elimination Chamber, but I don't see him winning at WrestleMania either. He might have a championship match at WrestleMania, maybe, but if he does, he's gonna lose. I think he's gonna lose.
Yeah.
And I think it's building up all the way till probably SummerSlam, and he'll probably win the 17 over there. But he's not winning at WrestleMania. He's not winning no title at WrestleMania. He's not winning before that. I think he loses the Royal Rumble, and whoever eliminates him, that's his WrestleMania opponent. It could farewell. It could be Randy Orton.
You know what? I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah,
Randy
I
Orton
don't know.
comes back at the Rumble and eliminates John Cena, and then that starts their last feud together.
Yeah, I could. Yo, listen. Watching the Royal Rumble, seeing CM Punk, Randy, John Cena in the ring all at the same time, I pray that happens. I pray that happens. Oh my goodness, that would be
a
like
nostalgia kick.
I would just like explode. Like I would.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. It would be crazy. And then Brock Lesnar enters. The ring.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm playing 2K too much.
Right? So Cena, he announced he's gonna be in the Royal Rumble. I think he's probably not gonna, like you say, he's probably not gonna win, but it would be good to have him there, and maybe possibly be like the final four, maybe the final two, and then he gets eliminated. So
that would be crazy if he was the final.
That would be crazy, and then because like I think the whole story is that this is Cena's final year, so you want to have him get like so close, always get so close. That'll be the story, and
Yeah.
then like eventually he gets it, you know. Yeah. So it's gonna be entertaining, obviously, and we'll see what happens with John Cena going forward. So next up was Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, and so
Oh yeah.
in the last episode, I could have sworn that it said this was gonna be a last woman standing,
I thought so too.
and apparently a lot of other people too, because this threw everybody off because this was not a last woman standing. This was just a regular match.
It wasn't even like a Extreme Rules match, right?
Yeah, there was no. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I could have sworn I heard it somewhere, but it wasn't meant to be. But yeah, so it was
Whatever.
just a regular match. Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. Now I will admit I missed a big portion of this match because this is when I found out that the whole commercial thing. And I was trying to figure out if I can use a VPN to watch on my TV so I didn't get
my God.
commercials. So I was doing that while this match was happening, and I was just like, damn it. And I couldn't
Yeah.
figure it out, but so
I
I didn't
mean-
get to see this much of this match.
Well, I thought this match was pretty good as well. Like this match had a lot of stuff in it. I did feel like this was like the last match because of the way they had a good match. Like it wasn't just like a regular thing. They had a bunch of stuff that happened. This also did have a couple kickouts
Yeah.
that were questionable. But
As a pay-per-view, like feel. Like even though it was just Raw, but it was Raw on Netflix, the first show, so it had like a pay-per-view feel. Like I feel like the matches were they felt like they were paced like a pay-per-view. Because it was basically just matches. Like there was very little like storyline, like promos and stuff like that. Yeah, John Cena and The Rock, but outside of that, and one more that we'll get to, but outside of those, there wasn't really like any like story development. It was all just matches.
Oh yeah, pretty much all just matches. I think this is what people wanted.
I completely spaced out. We forgot that The Rock came out after the match with Roman and Solo.
Oh
and, yeah, I completely spaced on that. So yeah, he came out and he hugged Roman and he placed the Ulafala on his neck.
They spent way too much time on this.
Yes, and I thought for sure when Roman put his ones up that The Rock was gonna come in and do a rock bottom, but they didn't do it. So
I think he was teasing it too hard. He was like, he even did the dap up or whatever, and went like this, and then Roman dapped him up. They hugged for like a second, and I thought it was gonna be like a over the shoulder rock bottom, but it wasn't. He just put it over his neck. He clapped in the corner. I don't know if he put the ones up, but he just
probably put the L up.
Put the L, put the 3, and then left. I don't know. Like they spent way too much time though. Roman had his whole celebration. He put the ones up twice. He was like this, and then he went to go walk around the ring or whatever, talk to Paul Heyman, and he put it up again. And then that was it.
Yeah,
literally nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's why we forgot about it, because nothing happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to Rhea and Liv.
Oh yeah.
I don't. So all right, I'm glad that this hopefully is over between them, because they dragged this out way too long.
Oh my god.
Like way too long. This should have ended months ago. And I get because injuries and stuff like that, like I get it. But this they I don't know how they made it last this long.
I don't know either.
And the fact that they kept doing like the same finish for like every match that they had, where Judgment Day interferes, Dominic interferes,
Raquel,
like anybody, like Carlito, like all of them is always interfering and then costing Rhea the match. And it's just like, how it's actually a surprise that Rhea is still as popular as she is.
Yo, for real.
Considering that they've done the same thing for months with her.
Yeah, I think people are starting to turn on her.
No, she's still popular. She still gets pops and reactions and stuff like
No, I
that.
mean like they were starting to turn on her because people were like, "Oh my God, Rhea did not need to win." I already saw the comments like, "Oh, Rhea got the championship again. We're gonna go back to square one. Nobody to face. This and
No,
that."
no, they can build up people. There's literally so much women in NXT that they can call up now to face
Oh my
Rhea.
gosh.
Like it's insane. Like
Yeah.
there's plenty of girls that can face Rhea. It's not an issue.
Even people that are already on the roster.
Yeah, there's still people on the roster too. So
Yeah, they have
they haven't even done Io
Io.
Sky. Yeah,
Yeah,
There's-
Io Sky versus Rhea. Maybe the WrestleMania
they
match.
could do Bailey, Bianca. Like
Bailey.
there's plenty of matches for Rhea to have.
Yeah, I think
That's
she'll
not
handle it
Liv
good.
Morgan.
Oh my gosh, no. Liv Morgan needs to go away for a while.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly, yeah.
and just
Did
do
you?
something else.
I did hear. Apparently, Pat McAfee was making fun of Liv and her laugh. He was going to ha 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 ha. Like,
Damn,
I know.
that was worked up. Yo,
I
Pat
know.
McAfee was a dickhead on this show. I don't know
I
if I can
mean,
say that. Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, whatever. You know, Pat being back is so great. I'm glad he's back.
Ah,
Yeah. So, all right, but I don't remember exactly what was next. I mean, I think I
well,
do know what's
well,
next.
before we go on to the next thing, this also had a lot of finisher kickouts. Like,
Oh, the
there was a
Liv and Rhea?
Riptide. Yeah, there was a Riptide and a kick out, and an Oblivion right after, and then a kick out, and then it was interference. It was just like, all right, that was the point where I was like, this is kind of like how tonight is gonna be, like it's gonna be a whole bunch of this, and it definitely happened a lot more in the later part of the show.
Yeah.
But I mean, what can you do? Like, they don't do it every day, every show, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, before we go to the next thing, I do want to mention that so they were like showcasing a lot of celebrities, and I don't know if you noticed when they were doing the celebrity showcase, like they were like putting the camera or whatever, they were playing old Raw themes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, if you go back and listen, they're playing old Raw things. They were playing the Raw Across the Nation. They were playing Tonight is the Night. Like they were playing the old Raw themes. Like they did it every time they showed celebrities. And I noticed, I was like, yo, what the heck?
I have to I have to watch it again now. I have to go
Yeah.
back to Netflix.
But
Oh, damn.
one in particular that they showed off, which caught me by surprise, because they were showing off different people, and they showed off Macaulay Culkin.
Yo.
He got the pop of the night. Like literally everybody was cheering for him. He got freaking more reactions than some of the people on the freaking show. And it was just crazy. And like I'm a fan. I like Home Alone and stuff like that, but I didn't expect that to happen though. It was so weird.
No, I honestly we popped at home too. Like we saw him, he was like, "Oh snap!" He's like, "Oh," it was just
Yeah.
like the way he did it with the hat. He was
Yeah, it's like he knew. It's like people gonna be watch.
yeah. I think he understood the assignment.
Yeah. So one person that he got a bigger reaction than, which shouldn't be a surprise, was Hulk Hogan.
I don't know if he got a bigger reaction than him because he got a pretty big reaction.
Oh, I
not in
mean,
a good way.
yeah, not in the great. So Hulk Hogan comes out and he's doing the whole Hulkamania stuff, the regular stuff. Like let me tell you something, brother. Let me what it was. Yeah, let me tell you something. Why I don't know why.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. No, he's not. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
But yeah, so he came out with Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart was waving the flag, and when his theme song hits, everybody is always like, oh, like reaction, because that theme song, despite being associated with Hulk Hogan, is a pretty cool theme song. It's memorable. People know the words and stuff like that. It always gets a reaction.
Yeah,
But when
it's iconic.
Yeah, it's iconic. But when he came out, he got booed out the building.
Yo,
It was hilarious.
I was dying, bro.
I was laughing my ass off the entire time because he was trying to get through his promo and he could barely walk. Like he was limping to the freaking stage.
Yeah.
And his freaking arms are flabby and stuff like that. Like he's just like a caricature at this point.
Yeah.
And he was trying to go through the regular. And he was trying to say, "Oh, you Hulkamaniacs have been with me through thick and thin." It's just like as he's getting showered with boos. Like, no, we are not with you, Hulk.
No, bro. I don't know who you think we are, but no,
Right?
we're not. Yo,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Oh wait,
because...
before sorry, we keep forgetting this stuff. Right after the Rhea and Liv match.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Undertaker comes out.
Oh my
And
God.
it's not regular Undertaker. It's American Badass Undertaker. And he
Hit
comes
the
out on a
gong.
bike. They did hit the gong. I mean, that's always been part of his thing. But they hit the gong and then he comes out and he's riding a motorcycle and he rode around the ring. It was a very small thing. It was hard for him. He had to stop. and he did the thing where he moves it with his feet and stuff like that. He couldn't actually ride it the whole way around. But when he comes around and he speaks to Rhea, gives her a high five, and then they do the whole look back or whatever, and then hands up and stuff the stuff that he used to do with Kane and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was surprising. I didn't expect him to be there. I didn't expect him to be there as American Badass. But, yeah. The theme song threw me off because I forgot that he had that theme song.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's called American Badass by
Undertaker.
No, by Undertaker. He sang the song.
Yeah.
No, shoot, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name.
Oh man, I forgot.
Whatever.
I saw it on
Not
2K
important.
one time.
It's not important. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I thought that was You ever think that you ever think that whenever they come out with the motorcycles or the ATV or whatever, you think they test it before, or they just say fuck it, I'm gonna just go, and if they get stuck, then it's awkward.
They have to test it. Actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, I do remember a time where it got stuck.
Oh man!
And Undertaker literally had to get off of it and ride it back.
That's it. Yo, I want to see that clip.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't remember if he pushed it back or he just got off it and walked back. But it was he had to leave it there.
That sucks. I'm not gonna lie. That really sucks.
But so it did happen.
I gotta see that.
But yeah, it was just weird too because of all people to do that to Rhea Ripley, that doesn't really go together. But anyway,
I think it was for him to get on the show,
Yeah, and they're trying to find a spot. What spot would he be able to do?
Yeah, you're not gonna have him come out during Roman and Solo,
and then just I know you beat me at WrestleMania, but
just put a van though.
Yeah.
Not putting up the ones though. But yeah, good.
Back to Hogan.
Hogan.
So he was trying to get through his promo, and literally once he heard that the crowd was just not gonna stop booing, he just went right into promo mode for his Real American Beer. And he tried to talk about Raw is Netflix, the biggest tag team. He tried to name drop Macho Man and Andre to try and get a pop, and it was not working.
He didn't. He literally he was like Macho Man.
Yeah,
and still boos Andre. No, and he was like, I trucked through the whole thing.
He's like, all right, fine, let me finish.
Yeah. He's probably supposed to have a whole another minute, but he just left.
Yeah, it was bad, and honestly, I don't know why they partnered with him. How many products has Hulk Hogan had over the years that you don't even know about? Like the whole, I don't know if you know that he used to have like a pasta marketing thing,
Yeah, and a burger.
Pasta Mania. And he's done other stuff. Like I can't even remember, but he's done all this stuff with like brand, like his name, and he goes commercials and stuff like that. And it's never lasted. So I don't know why WWE or Netflix or whoever decided to partner with him thinks that this is going to be a long lasting product with
No,
the
it's
real
not.
American beer. Like, no, it's not going to last.
Yeah, it's really not.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know. It was very awkward, and it was crazy when I first watched it. I skipped past it because saw Hulk Hogan was like, nah, skip.
yeah,
Like,
I
because
get it.
I saw it a little later, so the show was still going on, but I had skipped time. So I was like, Hulk
Yeah, I
Hogan's
don't
on the
care.
screen. I
Whatever.
don't care. Goodbye. I'm watching the next segment. Like, I don't care about
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. And then I saw later on that he got booed out of buildings. It was super crazy.
It's hilarious too that the Netflix caption said crowd
Oh
boom.
yeah,
You know,
that's crazy. Like, damn,
Netflix
that
has no chill. They were just like, y'all put him in here. Like
yo,
we're gonna tell it like it is. They
it's
were
too much
booing his ass.
Netflix. It's too much Netflix and chill. They decided to have no chill this time, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You got to think that Triple H, he knew that this was gonna happen, and he was
He's
just
probably
like,
smiling.
yeah, he was just like, sorry,
Yeah,
ho.
tried. I mean,
No,
it
but
didn't work.
I think the whole thing, like with the partnership, it probably wasn't even his call. It probably wasn't even WWE's call. It was probably like a Netflix thing, or it probably was TKO that did it.
Yeah,
They think they're
most likely.
still like. It wouldn't be surprising if they still think Hulk Hogan is like a name that is good to associate with.
No.
So, and
Yeah.
before anybody says, "Oh, they just did his politics," no, because when Undertaker came out, he got cheered, and he
Yeah.
is also, in that same camp, and he still got cheered. So it's not political. Hulk Hogan's just a piece of shit.
Yeah. He's been publicly maybe not publicly, but he's been pointed out as racist. He's been pointed out as this, that. Like, he's done a lot of
Egomaniac,
stuff.
a freaking backstabber, and
Yeah, a liar.
yeah. And
You go
honestly,
on.
yeah, I wish that that we can say this is the last we'll see of him on TV, but I don't know because he was in the commercial for the next Saturday night's main event, and I don't know if he's actually gonna be on the show. I would hope that people saw this segment and decide against that because him being on TV is not a good idea.
Listen, if he's on Saturday's main event, he better be in the backstage segment.
Yeah, be a backstage set because if freaking oh shoot, I'm blanking on his name.
No. Oh man, I'm like, I was about to say Joe Tessitore.
Not Joe Tessitore.
No, Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura, yeah. There's a lot
There
of
you go.
J's, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jesse Ventura, if he sees Hogan and he fucking hates his guts. So
Yeah.
he's gonna cut his ass and call him every name in the book.
He's
I
gonna
mean,
be like, this crowd hates him.
yeah, he's gonna be like, I knew he was an asshole.
He probably will say that.
No, he probably won't say that. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, so we'll see if he shows his face again on TV, but odds are no.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I hope
so that happened, and I also feel bad for Jimmy Hart because Jimmy Hart don't deserve that. Like he was getting
Jimmy Hart.
they probably went backstage and Hulk Hogan was just like, "Damn, bro, they really don't like you.
Yeah, bro, they will boo you. Man.
They were bullying you, Jimmy. I'm sorry."
I think it's time to go, man.
Right? Trying to gaslight him.
Yeah. You probably would.
He would do that. But yeah, so get out of here, Hulk. We don't like you.
Yeah.
So
Stay off TV, please.
please. So next up was all right. I think backstage they did a little interview with Adam Pearce and what was it? I think Chad Gable and American Made came out or was there, and it was just very random. It felt like very thrown together last minute. Chad
Yeah.
Gable says he wants to apparently show that he's not afraid of luchadors, which whoever said he was. So
It's like, dang, bro. Like the locker room must like be talking
right,
because
yeah,
I didn't hear nothing about this.
yeah. It's like this is news to me. So he wants to prove himself to a luchador. So he asked Adam Pearce to put him up against any luchador next week. And Adam Pearce said, "You sure?" And he said, "Yeah." So next week we have Chad
Next
Gable.
week you're getting Sin Cara on the show versus Chad Gable.
No, we're getting Grand Metalik. What are you talking about?
Oh, so
No,
sorry.
we're getting Huriko. That's what we're getting.
Yes. Oh, we might get Camacho too. I hope so.
Camacho. What are you talking
My
about?
bad.
Camacho with Tangaloa. Wait, no.
No. They're two different people.
They're two different people. Okay.
Two different. Camacho, he left the company.
Okay.
He left. I don't know what happened to him.
He might come back.
No, I don't think he needs to. Tangaloa will probably destroy him if he comes back. So
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah. Yo, I could see Camacho riding like a little motorcycle down the ramp. No, they had a bicycle.
It was a bicycle, yeah.
Dang, Tangaloa was riding Camacho was riding a bicycle. to Macho and Hunico. Damn, that's crazy times, man.
But yeah, so Chad Gable's gonna face a mystery luchador. Coincidentally, they did finally reveal who is the promos for that they've been showing every week on Raw, which is Penta. I guess that's gonna be his name, just Penta.
Penta, yeah, probably.
Which, I mean, it's whatever. I would have preferred Pentagon or Pentagon Dark or Pentagon Junior. Or Penta, El Cero Miedo. I don't know. But,
whatever.
Yeah, so Penta's going to show up. So I wonder if that's going to be his mystery opponent. You know, like, who's Penta? Like,
I don't know.
yeah,
I hope he doesn't hate luchadors, though. Like, Chad Gable with luchadors, man. You know him.
You know him with his luchadors. But yeah, it was just very weird, and it's like, and even Triple H in the post conference, they asked him like, "Oh, who is he gonna face? Who's the luchador?" And he said, "We think you figured it out already." He's like, "No shit, like, why would you just a random luchador?" Like,
I think they messed up at luchador. Like they could have been like, "Oh yeah, mystery opponent," and
they should have done like a mystery opponent at least.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm glad to see that match though next week.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be a good showcase match, and yeah. So looking forward to that next week. So I think because last week we were talking about, or last episode we were talking about how they took a lot from this show off and pushed it to like next week, and this match or Penta's debut was supposed to be for, at least we assumed it was going to be for this week. But I think they pushed it to next week because there was so much on this show. Like, it honestly felt like they probably could have cut more. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It was, and the whole, the women's intercontinental match.
Yeah.
That got pushed to next week. And I see why, because it's just like, there's so much on this show already.
Literally too much on the show. Like, they could have just cut Hulk Hogan.
I mean, that will only save like 10 minutes.
Well, I mean,
that's 10 minutes. Yeah.
10 minutes for something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Literally anything.
But anyway, so next up we had Travis Scott come out first.
Oh yeah.
So he came out and they were playing Fiend. And he was smoking a blunt.
Yeah, he was. Big and strong it was.
Yeah, very prominent. They didn't cut away from it. I mean, how can you? Like,
he zoomed in on it.
Yeah, they zoomed in on it.
And straight up, like,
literally, TV. Yeah, that's the first time for Raw, you can say. So yeah, so he showed. We didn't mention this, but he actually did like the intro for Raw. he did an original track for the Raw.
Yeah, he
For
did
the Raw.
for the Raw. Hey, yo.
Yeah. But yeah, so he did the track, and so right after he comes out, Jey Uso comes out. And he's like right next to him, and he's he's doing his yeet thing.
Yeah.
And we find out later on that I don't think they showed it on camera, but like during the backstage interview after the show, they they asked him like how was it being like next to Travis Scott, and he was saying that he had to like blow away the smoke.
He said, "Go
He's like,
away."
oh, it's not in my face. I smelled it, but
I
like,
didn't inhale it.
I'm at work, bro. I'm trying not to get another fine.
I know, my God, he could not afford that
Although,
right now.
knowing his track record or him and his brother's track record, every time they get in trouble, they get a title win. So maybe
I guess
he
so.
should.
Maybe they need it.
Maybe they
New
maybe
tag
should.
champions.
But yeah, so Jey Uso comes out and he comes down with Travis Scott and he comes down to the ring. And yeah, and then Drew McIntyre comes out and then they have their match. I want to say this match is a little disappointing.
Yeah,
I feel like
I could agree.
What are you doing?
What?
It's like,
What do you mean?
all right, we're gonna pretend that's not happening.
My bad. That wasn't me. I don't know who.
Oh, okay. But so
Okay.
yeah, this match, I felt like this could have been like, I don't know, it was something missing there, and I don't know what it was. Because normally I like Jey Uso matches, I like Drew McIntyre matches, but for whatever reason, this just didn't click.
I don't know what it was either. I felt the same thing because it was just like a regular match. Like, I think it was just so much like you had Rhea Ripley Championship, you had Undertaker, you had Bloodline match, the Tribal Combat, and then you
You
had
think it was
CM
just too
Punk.
much?
Yeah, I think it was just the last. I think it was like the fourth match on the card. You know what I mean? There was 4 matches, right? If I'm correct.
2, 3, yeah, 4.
Yeah, it was the 4th match on the show. That's basically, I feel like, what it was. And not that it was bad, but it was just like
third match
not.
on the show because we still have one more.
No, I mean like on the like.
Yeah. Like
it was number 4 basically. Like,
yeah,
out of
true.
all the matches, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the price that it paid being on the show, and that's the price that a lot of matches would have had if they were on the show. Like if we would have had that Penta, Rey Mysterio match against
That was supposed
the
to
New
happen.
Day,
Yeah.
that would have been definitely the last match. Like then that match would have feel like, okay, Penta just debuted, but like
Yeah.
I
Then
just
it
saw the
kinda-
Undertaker.
Yeah, it kind of would have taken away from it. Like it would have been
so-
a big moment to debut on the first episode of Raw on Netflix, but the fact that like it would have been overshadowed by everything, so it was a good idea not to do it. But yeah, so it was an okay match. I wouldn't say it was bad. Jey Uso eventually won. It was a match that happened. It wasn't bad. It wasn't anything special. It was just a match.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, not anything crazy.
Jey Uso won, if I'm not mistaken. He
Yeah,
rolled him up.
I said Jey Uso won. Hey, it was like a chalk pin or something like that. That he just rolled him up.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the first time he's beat Drew McIntyre in a one-on-one match.
Is it?
Yeah, because before this, they were marketing it as he has never beat Drew McIntyre in a one-on-one match before, so he will beat him this time. Or he will just continue. Rolled him up.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
cool.
But yeah, so that match happened, and now we get to the main event, which was CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
Oh man,
this match had a big fight feel since last week because I mean they did that promo segment to sell it on the match, and it was, I want to say, it was very good. I very much enjoyed this match. It had it, and we talked about it before with the Solo and Roman and Rhea and Liv. Like This match also had a lot of finisher kickouts,
Yes.
particularly CM Punk, which I found a little bit weird because it's CM
Yeah.
Punk. Like he's an old guy. Why is
I
he kicking out
know.
of so many finishers? Like,
I have no clue. I
um,
have no clue.
but despite that, I felt like the story behind this match was very good. Um, the ending sequence, I don't know if you noticed, was the same ending sequence that CM Punk had with Mox in
Yes.
AEW.
I noticed that same thing.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's gonna be a thing. If like basically he's gonna take out the Shield.
Mm.
So he took out Mox, he beat him, and he won against Seth, which I thought was actually surprising because we both said that Seth was gonna win,
Yeah.
and we were wrong.
We were
I,
wrong about a couple things on this.
yeah,
But
we were because we didn't. I mean, this one in particular, I was most shocked at because I thought for
yeah.
sure that Seth, he's someone who, when you think of WWE, you think Seth Rollins. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of people you could think of, probably Roman, probably like maybe now Cody, John Cena, obviously, but Seth Rollins is up there as one of the names that is like a mainstay with WWE. And the fact that he's been around, I mean, in his promo, like I kind of understood where he was coming from. Like CM Punk left when the going got tough. And
Yeah.
granted, he was justified because he freaking almost died. But
Yeah.
in terms of like dealing with upper management and stuff like that, he left because he couldn't handle it anymore. He didn't want to deal with it. It was all bullshit to him. But Seth
Yeah.
Rollins stayed and he had to deal with it. And despite all that, he made it to the top and is still on top. So I thought after everything that he's been through, I know they gave him the championship, but he kind of had his like thunder stolen last year with the whole WrestleMania main event stuff, and he kind of played second fiddle to Cody for a while, and
Yeah.
even to Roman, and he kind of fell off a little bit. I thought for sure that they were gonna at least give him like a big win against Punk, but now that I'm looking back on it, I wonder if this is just basically setting up Punk for something more.
Mm-hmm.
Like possibly a championship run?
I think so as well, to be honest. Because he's already beaten Punk. Like, I mean, he's already beaten Seth Rollins now. So clean.
Yeah. There was
Like,
no
there was
shenanigans, no disqualification, nothing. You beat him
nothing.
clean.
He beat him straight up clean. Like, that's it. And it was like, wow. I was very surprised when I saw that because
And
I just thought,
after the match, when they were doing like an interview, when they went back to like the post show on YouTube, they interviewed Punk and he called out Cody and he called out Gunther. And he said, "I'm coming for you." So I don't see how this doesn't basically elevate him to being in the title picture. I don't know when though. It could be as soon as Royal Rumble, but then that means Punk is not in the Royal Rumble match.
he could be the new Royal Rumble match and he could win. But I feel like now that John Cena made that promo, it's like, I did think CM Punk was a very likely person to win the Royal Rumble. But now that John Cena kind of declared his win, he was like, yo, I need to win. If anybody other than John Cena wins, it's going to be they're a heel. And maybe CM Punk could be a heel. I'm not sure.
I think Punk will probably be a heel sooner rather than later. He's just good at that. But right now he's still face. People like him. People want to get behind him. But yeah, so this match was very good, very excellent. And honestly, this was, and I know like every match Punk is gonna be in is like you kind of watch it like, does he still got it? Can he still go? And it's like,
Is he going to get injured?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Oh, I wanted to mention this, and I don't know why this popped up in my head, but I thought, because this is John Cena's last year. I don't know why this happened in my head, but I was just like, I hope he doesn't get injured.
Oh man,
Because
that would be
literally that's what
terrible.
happened with Punk. He was gone for a
Yeah.
while. Now, granted, Cena has had matches, but so has Punk. So, I mean, AEW. So it's like, I hope he doesn't get injured.
My thing
It would
is,
throw everything off so badly.
it would, and that would be like the worst thing ever. He would have to retire in 2020. Like that, he can't. Like you
Just
gotta
push him
go
back.
another year, bro. Yeah, because like how you gonna if he gets injured for a whole year? Like nah, you gotta come. You're not gonna go out like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's different between them because CM Punk is very injury prone already. Like he was
Well,
always kind of like
he hasn't been yet, which is what I was alluding to. That's why I was like, ever since he came back, it's always been like, because when he came back the first time in the Survivor Series and he had the first match in the Rumble, it was just like, oh, like first match back, not even a singles match, and he's injured already.
yeah,
So now every match after that is always going to be like, will he get injured? Like, is he actually good? And it's like, he's already had like 2 or 3 matches already. And he seems fine. Or actually, not 2 or 3. He's at like 4, I think, right?
yeah.
Said 3
Said-
against Drew. And then this
Survivor
one.
Series,
And then, Survivor Series, which was freaking War Games.
yeah,
So he has had like 5.
yeah.
So
I think it's different between them still because John Cena has always been like on the. I feel like more. John Cena's not an injury person throughout his whole career. He's only got injured very few times. Where I think his elbow got injured.
yeah.
And that's a very specific thing to get injured. It's not like you like it's not like your legs. Your legs are very like, okay, your legs get injured, okay, that's like an issue going forward. Now
Right.
your arms, like, okay, he got surgery, he's pretty good. He hasn't had an arm problem. He got injured on his nose, I think, from Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it broke his nose.
Other than that, I don't remember a John Cena injury.
Yeah, it's very rare, but it's not impossible.
It's not. Nothing is impossible. Never give up. Let me stop.
Yeah, no, okay, John. But anyway, yeah, so that was the main event. So you said you gave it like a 9.1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
I think 9.1 because that main event was pretty strong as well. Because like, I feel like Seth, like, oh man, Seth deserved that win to be honest. But
he did.
CM Punk, I feel like they have something, so I'm not gonna complain. I do also like CM Punk. I think he deserves a win also, but not now. I think he probably deserved it later. And the finish of the match was pretty good too. So
Yeah.
I'll stick with my answer 9.1.
Okay. So,
Excuse me.
and I'll stick with my 8.5.
Okay.
So yes, that was Raw's debut on Netflix. And with that, we will go home. So want to remind you that you can like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on a podcasting app, you can rate us and you can share us with all your friends. And you can also follow us on our socials. As we said, we will be posting more stuff on there, so stay tuned for that. That being said, thank you for watching and thank you for listening. We'll see you in the go home show for Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble time, February 1st.
It's the second biggest show of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn, that's in February for the first time in like.
Yeah, usually
even
it's in
know.
January. So
Yeah, so this year's weird. Saturday night's
weird.
been events also before, and it's like, yeah, super weird.
Very weird.
We'll go with the flow.
yeah, we'll figure it out. But we'll see you guys then. Take care.
Take care, guys.